All right, so I think that's something that's is a problem here for Dignitas. How do they catch CLG? It's going to be, well, what do you do? I mean, they've got to go for, I think Jace would be a great pick. You haven't actually seen him be picked, and the last ban for CLG is going to go out. I'm not really sure it's going to be Jace. That's one way to do it. It is an Olaf ban. What is Scar going to pick up here for Dignitas? They're going to grab that Shen away. They could go for a lot of different picks. Don't think it's going to be Syndra or Sejuani, but Orianna, a possibility. Shen, their first pickup, could be what they decide to go with. They don't want to give that away to CLG, and indeed, they're going to go ahead, take that away. Crumb's a really good player on Shen, and how do you feel about that? I mean, it's great to take it away, but is it going to work with Dignitas' team comp?
So how does that make me feel? I think it makes me feel good, Rapid. I feel no, all the feels.
Okay.
Taking away the Shen, it's huge. It means that CLG can't run that sort of patented split pushing strategy that they love to run, even though Dignitas seem to do a good job of taking it away from them. What I really want to see is what is Dignitas going to pick now that Olaf has been taken out of the pool. That Olaf was absolutely huge. It allowed for initiations that were a little bit more unconventional.
And I think that not only unconventional initiations, but the counter initiations were really great from
Hmm.
a CLG. And that's huge. Will they be able to do that? Nunu's something that's, oh no. Okay. Well, CLG
Up.
wins and they win $1,000. That's pretty cool. All right. Not
GG.
quite, but Double Lift playing Vayne, something that's carried CLG to victory numerous times. We're going to see it again. I'm pretty excited.
Nunu and Vayne is just classic CLG. They figure, okay, they don't even really have to drag it out into late game with Vayne. Double Lift's Vayne is, if I have to describe to you what Double Lift's Vayne is at this point, you really need to start watching more tournaments because Double Lift's Vayne is absolutely bonkers legendary, and it looks like Dignitas is going to pick up Corki and Lulu to counter it. I like that Lulu pickup. They're going to be able, if she decides to use help picks on Vayne, while she is in her stealth, that's not going to help because help picks gives true sight. It counters Vayne in a number of other ways, but that Corki pickup is really interesting. Going to be able to Valkyrie out of those really nasty condemns.
Well, it's
Oh,
not
I
only
should
the
probably
condemns. It's
Valkyries.
it's Corki is really really good against Vayne. Not only because well you can't reveal her under stealth. That's why Lulu's there. But he's going to be able to shove the wave a lot more than Vayne can deal with at early levels.
Hmm.
The possible it's looking like Sona pickup here for Loco and he normally plays Lulu. You saw him do that there in that last game. He's really, really strong with Lulu. Comes from the Korean meta where that's really strong. But I like the Sona pickup. It's going to help a little bit more early on. So what will they choose to go up against Shen in this top lane? Because it's kind of turned right back against them. Looks like a Cho'Gath pickup. So like we said last time, could go jungle, could go top. But is that going to be enough to stop Shen?
I'm not entirely certain. The ruptures are going to be fairly easy to avoid for Shen, just because of that shadow dash. He can even shadow dash over the entire radius of the thing. So it's if they do decide to put Cho'Gath in the jungle, which is pretty conventional at this point. You don't even see Hot Shot on Cho'Gath in the top as much as you see him in the jungle. To be honest, uh, I think that top lane is going to be hard to gank if it is Cho'Gath jungle. It's going to have to be focused bottom lane, but they're going to have to rely on some really fancy maneuvering from Loco and Double Lift to get those ganks off because excuse me, not Crumbs. I see Corki Crumbs. Corki will have his Valkyrie available, and Lulu will of course have the Whimsy as well. It's going to be a tough lane to gank, but right now it seems like their best bet, unless it's going to be a Lux mid. That may be a little bit easier to gank.
Yes, Lux mid is something that's actually, I believe CLGU's been running a lot of. Froggen's Lux is just absolutely ridiculous. Over the weekend in DreamHack, he just had huge games against the Copenhagen Wolves. They're just, I don't even know how to describe that, but looks like it could be Scar on Lux, could be a support Lux with an AP Lulu, probably not. So I'm really excited to see how that works out because we do have the last pickup here for CLG. It's going to be their AP mid, most likely. And what is Big Fat going to do against that Lux? Could be Orianna, but Lux's range is something that's so strong. And people are just starting to realize that she has wave clear, she has range. You just have to learn how to play her, learn her unique play style, which is definitely something Scar has mastered by now. It does look like it's going to be that Orianna pickup. And so, how do you feel about that? It's Orianna versus Lux.
Orianna versus Lux, I think it's going to be a sort of farm-centered lane for a little while, but because both of their ranges is so extreme, they can harass each other. They can have a full-on fight from a very long distance away, and I wouldn't be surprised at all to see some really heavy aggression coming out from both of them. If a nice light binding comes out from Skara, whoa, might we see Rengar in the jungle? Those Rengar ganks are going to be brutal. Oh, Hotshot
I'm not
GG
sure.
has left. Yeah, we'll have to
Because
see. Okay, so Loco is just lagging, so they're going to restart. So that is going to be, what I'd guess is a Rengar in the jungle. You don't usually, I mean, Shen I think would just generally be a stronger top lane in this case. I don't know, Shen jungle isn't really that strong anymore. You never see him in the jungle because, he already has global map presence. You don't need it redundantly in the jungle. On top of that, he's such a strong top laner, and his jungle clear speed is a little bit slow. It's a little bit slow to make up for the fact that his ganks just aren't strong enough to justify the slow clear speed. There we go.
all right, yeah, that's pretty much what I was gonna get at too. I mean, it's cool to have ganks, but something that's gonna be cool is to see they did pick up Rengar Shen. So if Rengar ults and gets in the middle of your team, not only can you not see Rengar, you can't see Shen ulting in on Rengar. So that's gonna be kind of awesome to see once that's if that combo happens during the game. But yeah, just waiting on people to get in here, fixing the internet issues. And that's something that excuse me, CLG has had some issues with. Hopefully, it won't be a big problem. I know that starting off that last game with a pause kind of killed the hype at the beginning. So hopefully, they won't troll me so hard. But really excited to get into this. See some questions. If you guys are just now joining us, this is game 2 between Dignitas and CLG North America. CLG NA is up 1 game over Dignitas. And this is the ROCCAT King of the Hill. It's for $1,000, and CLG only has to win 1 more to get that.
Yeah, it looks like Loco has returned, and we should be getting back into the game in just a moment. I personally am really pumped to see Rengar jungle. It's not something that you usually see.
Yeah, Rengar jungle, one of the strongest things right after his recent, well, not quite nerfs, but used to build him AP. Now AD is ridiculous, and he has just some of the most ridiculous ganks you can ever see. Walking through wards is pretty cool. It's what made Evelynn strong. It's what makes Rengar strong, and it's what's really, really going to help out Dignitas in the jungle. Also something Dominate's really good at, so that, can't hurt.
Can't hurt when you're good at the jungle. Yes, indeed. I was talking a little bit earlier before Loco had to quit out of the lobby, and he should be ready in just a moment. But I was looking at those Rengar Lux ganks. If Lux can just manage to get a light binding off and land her full combo between Rengar and Lux, Orianna is going to be dead before she even knows it. Not only do you have incredible range from Lux that's able to get her full damage output out from such a massive range, doesn't even have to look like she's getting aggressive to do her full burst. Rengar is going to be able to jump into that mid lane from a huge distance, and the range that is usually Orianna's greatest asset is not going to help her out at all.
Yeah, Rengar ganks, it's one of the strongest things about it is if you get too close to either one of those brushes on the side of mid lane, well, you're going to get jumped on. Same thing top lane, because there's just a lot of brushes for Rengar to jump through. And of course, if you're fighting him in his jungle, it's a little bit like going up against Kha'Zix, because he's so strong 1v1. You can't run from him. And Kha'Zix is great because he gets isolated damage boost, but Rengar's great because you just can't chase him through the brush because he keeps jumping on you and like, WTF is this? It's like there used to be a bug with Rengar where you could jump multiple times in a row, and you're like, well, I guess he doesn't need bushes anymore, so GG. But they fixed that. He does need bushes. He's still really strong. Excited to see what Dominate can do.
Oh, so we see CLG banning out all the Z champions. They really don't want to allow that powerful force. I think that actually there are 4 Z champions. Darn it. I was going to say it's like there are exactly 3 Z champions. No, there's also Zyra. But I think the picks will indeed stick. Another phrase I never thought I'd actually say out loud. The
The
picks will
sticks,
stick.
the picks will stick.
Six the picks.
Well, there is a Lulu in the game, so I guess that's a little bit more applicable. But whatever, we're gonna go through the same picks and bans and get right into the game. So it shouldn't be that too long. We're gonna get into this. I'd love to say it's time, but it's not time because we have to wait for everybody to go through this. But as long as there's no pause to start things out, I'll be pretty happy.
Yeah, right now, just going through the picks really quickly. 60 seconds until we can take down those summoner blockers and show you exactly what everyone is running, and we'll know for sure whether Rengar will be in the jungle or in the top lane. But as we were talking about earlier, I think that he's going to be much, much stronger in the jungle. There are just a number of things that are working for Dignitas' team composition right now. You have Rengar. His ultimate, I believe, can see through stealth. Correct me if I'm wrong.
It does give you true sight, so you can jump on basically whoever you want. But I mean, Rengar ganks are going to be something that Dignitas is working well with. You'll notice they have great CC in all their lanes. They got Shen taunt, they got the snare coming out from Skara, and then some suppression and slow from Patoya in the bottom lane, as well as a knockup from Wild Growth once he hits level 6. So there's a lot for Rengar to work with his ganks, and it's kind of going to be revenge for Crumbs. He's like, well, Hotshot played Shen last time. Can Crumbs turn around and be a better Shen than Hotshot will be? So here we go. We're going to get into the game, and should be 3 minutes before it starts.
Yep, we got about 3 minutes. This is going to be so incredibly interesting. I'm looking at the bot lane right now. Both lanes are decently poke heavy. I mean, Vayne, she can tumble around into a corner and get that tumble proc off. Does a nice bit of damage. Plus, of course, the silver bolts. If she just needs 2 auto attacks and then a condemn to get that silver bolts proc off. That harass is going to be strong. And of course, Sona. What do I really have to say about Sona harass other than it is frankly ridiculous. So in the top lane, I can take down the summoner blockers right now. And it is going to be Shen in the top lane. Shen going up against Cho'Gath because we do have Nunu in the jungle. We were talking a bit earlier. No, we said he's probably going to be in the jungle, but no, we are going to get to see Hotshot GG in the top lane with Cho'Gath. How do you think Shen versus Cho'Gath is going to go?
All right, I think that's something interesting is the summoners. This plays into how the lane's going to work out. Yet flash exhaust on Shen, not something you're too used to. Usually you're going to see something like ghost and teleport, ghost for his escape, and then teleport for his other skill. But with the flash, that's going to allow for those flash taunts. That's pretty good. Something that Hotshot didn't have last game because he did have ghost. So I mean that's cool and everything. He's going to be able to flash taunt. He also has exhaust. But Hotshot bringing teleport on Cho'Gath is going to allow him to follow Shen. So I really feel like this game is going to be more decided not by individual lanes, but by a lot of the pressure on the rest of the map. Because not only do you have the globals from Shen and then the teleport from Hotshot, you also have dominate ganking from Rengar. So there's definitely going to be a lot of action, and we have to be on top of the camera work, that's for sure.
Oh man, I'm going to have my work cut out for me. For those of you who are just tuning in, this is the ROCCAT King of the Hill, being casted by myself, who is 4th Oracle. That is indeed my name. And joining me is Rapid. And we are going to be getting into the game in 57 seconds. In the meantime, go ahead and give the national ESL channel that you are watching right now a follow. That way you won't have to worry about missing any of the great tournaments that we'll be providing. Tomorrow we are doing a community night, so go ahead and tune into that. It's just a ton of fun. You might get a chance to play against some NESL casters and admins, and it's just fun all over the place. Silly casting abounds as well. And we will be getting into the game in 30 seconds. We'll go ahead and run a quick commercial break, and then we will have the loading screen up for you, and the skin intimidation will be prepared for your eyes only.
All right, so we'll get into the break in just a second. Do want to make sure you guys know that we are having signups right now for the ESL Pro Series, and they're open, not Pro Series, but Premier and Open League. So make sure to go ahead, head over to nationalesl.com and sign up for those. Sign-ups right there on the front page, so make sure to check that out. We're heading into some ads and be right into the game as soon as the loading screen is done. All right, so commercials are up. We'll be running those. This is just for the VODs, and if you guys are running ad block, then stop it because it sucks. And
Stop it.
Yeah, okay. Well, that aside, yeah, we do need some revenue for this to keep these awesome tournaments going. So make sure to continue to support us in that way. Loading in, and yeah, there's all diamonds all the way around. Apparently, diamonds are not only a girl's best friend, but also make you pretty good at League of Legends. Dragon Trainer Lulu, something that's a little bit new on Patoy. Excited to see how that works out. And I think, yeah, skins all the way around except for Scumbag. I'm a cutie pie.
Oh man, just you always see a skin on Corki. I think this is one of the first times I've ever seen Corki in a pro game without a skin.
And he has
So
skins for him. I'm like,
yeah,
okay. Well, be that as it may, the commercials are over and we are back. If you guys are just now joining us, thanks for tuning in. This is game two between your blue team on the bottom left-hand side of Summoner's Rift. This is Team Dignitas going up against their opponents on the red side. This is Counterlogic Gaming North America defending their title. They're up 1-0 here versus Team Dignitas. Go ahead and update the overlay as my wonderful co-caster, Fourth Oracle, takes us through the opening routes here for both teams.
we do see Chowster and Big Fat moving around. Doublelift almost getting caught out there. Light binding, oh, just barely misses. So Doublelift going to be able to get out of there just by the skin of his teeth. Dignitas, though, they have control of this upper jungle. The CLG knows that they're there. Dignitas may decide that it's a little bit too scary to stick around. It looks like, no, they're just going to keep camping this tri-brush. They know they have the advantage, even though Patoy is all the way back in base right now. Opted to go for a Fairy Charm. Pretty standard support start. Looks like I may actually get a chance to shift everyone around, so things make just a little bit more sense. We have Cho'Gath up in the top lane, and Dignitas just camping this red buff. They really want to try to take this away. Big Fat gonna spot them out with the ball. So it looks like Dignitas isn't going to be able to do a whole lot here. Rapid, are you there?
Yes, I am. Thanks
Most
for the
excellent.
heads up. We got Dignitas doing a 4-1 split. They let Lulu go down a little bit bottom lane, and you can see kind of the opposite situation is now we have extreme amounts of wards placed by CLG throughout their jungle. They triple warded early on, and you're going to see a couple wards down for Dignitas as well. They're going to go ahead, take away the Wraith camp, and then move up here. We do have a 2v1 situation top lane that's going to mean Doublelift and Loco Doco taking down this double golems, but that's going to mean that Dignitas able to counter jungle this red buff, and they could actually put two tops. So yeah, Cutie Pie and Patoy are going to head up to top lane, so we're going to have 2-on-2 top as it's going to be once again Crumbs versus Hotshot. This time around in the bottom lane, Hotshot's going to pick up blue buff, which is cool and everything, but he's going to be about half health. He might, yeah, he started cloth armor, a ward, and potions. He's going to kill off blue buff if he can. It's kind of being a raid boss right now. Go back to base, heal up, teleport back into lane, and this should begin our early phase of the game with everybody where they're supposed to be, although it looks like Dominate with this red buff looking for the first gank.
Yes, he is, and he might be able to get it. I don't think he has actually been spotted, but looks like Doublelift, yep, there was no ward in the brush. They weren't aware, but Doublelift and Loco Doco playing this really defensively because Patoy and I'm a Cutie Pie are zoning them out really hard right now. Chowster coming around the corner, might get spotted out by Skara. Yes, indeed he will. He has red buff, though. There is the light binding. Bring down a little harass on a Chowster, but they may decide to keep chasing in on this. Red buff is applied. Skara down to a little over half health right now. There's the ball and the dissonance. He is slowed. There's a jump in from I Will Dominate, though. The burst damage on the Chowster is large. There is the slowdown. Big Fat and Chowster both forced to flash away, but here comes I Will Dominate. He just needs a bullet strike. Does he have it? No, he leveled Battle Roar instead. Now Skara flashing in and gets the light binding, allowing I Will Dominate to get first blood for himself. What a way to start as Regnar.
Oh my goodness, Dominate tried to micro into the bush and then get the jump off, but it just didn't work because he got right out of range. Chowster almost dodging that, but then the flash binding from Skara is going hard, making the plays, and I guess you can't fault Skara for making as many big plays as he possibly can. So getting that one down, taking first blood, goes over to Regnar, is going to help him out. He's also going to be able to pick up his own blue buff. That's going to help him out even more. So Dominate already off to a great start. That's going to make those Regnar ganks that we're talking about a little bit earlier that much more scarier, something like that.
Scarier.
Whatever.
Something. Someone's getting low. I think it is just in the top lane, or no, it's just Regnar getting low. I'm a Cutie Pie getting dangerously low himself, though. Wow, Silver Bolt procs doing a massive amount of damage. Yep, I will dominate, getting very low in his own jungle. He does have double buff. He'll go ahead and back. With that first blood, he picks up a Doran's Blade and a Cloth Armor, Sight Ward, and Health Potion. I like that Cloth Armor really early. It means he's going to be at higher health, so his ganks are going to be that much more brutal.
It's going to also help him if he decides to, turret dive a little bit. Don't really think we're going to see that, but we do have Chalister top. He's going to be looking for a little bit of a counter gank, and I mean, things kind of even across the board. You just see a Cloth Armor start that did allow Hotshot to pick up that early blue, and it's cool and everything, but it's not really going to help him out too much against Crumbs. He deals a lot of magic damage, and that's going to help him against creep aggro, so he can tank that up a little bit more, but he's going to go back and, pick up his boots, which is, kind of a good thing to have, I feel. So I have those 5 health potions, and he's gonna go for heavy armor, so building that ninja tabi, this could be for like either an early dragon or just getting that extra tankiness.
Ooh, Loco Doco getting chunked down, forced to flash away from that. There's no way that he's going to be able to stay in lane. Now double lift gonna be left to farm this up under tower. Might be a little bit difficult, and the Cutie Pie might be able to get a decent bit of harass down. But Toy is out of mana though, so they can't really make anything happen right now. I will dominate is in the bot lane though. Hotshot GG did spot him out with a ward. So it looks like no, even though he must have assumed that I will dominate his back, or maybe he's just trying to bait dominate into coming out a little bit too early. Throws the rupture down, hits dominate, actually does pop him up. Yeah, he is going to get spotted. I didn't think rupture gave vision. I guess he just scared away I will dominate. It's like, spikes around feet, get away. Right now, Chalister is in this mid lane, helping to push it up as Big Fat decides he wants to go ahead and back. Doesn't want Lux to push the minions all the way up to his tower.
And it does seem like overlay's fixed, so no more worries there. But top lane, Toy actually getting chunked down there, even while it was only double lift in lane. So double lift starting to get kind of strong on Vayne. He has those 2-speed Berserker Greaves, Doran's Blade. It's going to be up against Cutie Pie, building exactly the same, so no differences there. Chalister walking through a ward, so he's going to get scouted out. Kind of knows that, backs off immediately. And I mean, Redgar's been all over Chalister's jungle. It's just been completely devastated. And so Chalister feels the need to return the favor. Can't blame him for that.
Wow, double lift now with Cutie Pie trading pretty heavily right now. Double lift taken just under half HP, but Loco Doco does provide a decent bit of sustain with that Aria Perseverance. He'll be healing for a decent amount, 40 HP every time he uses it. It's decently strong. I will dominate, looking for another gank somewhere. Skara really pushing up on Big Fat LP hard. The light binding misses. Might have been an engagement for I will dominate, maybe, but he is not yet level 6. Chalister will find him trying to counter jungle though. Red buff is available. Loco Doco gonna put a nice bit of burst down onto I will dominate, but he returns the favor. There's a slow and the shockwave out from Big Fat. Everyone on CLG is just collapsing, and wow! The final spark from Skara picks up the kill on Loco Doco. Now I'm a Cutie Pie going deep onto Big Fat. There's a phosphorus bomb. It will be enough before Chalister gets that kill. In the meantime, Big Fat going to fall as well. Let's see who picked up the kill on Big Fat. He was sort of off in the corner for the majority of that fight.
Yeah, he was trying to just barely stay out of range, but really it was, you can see Double Lift tried to get the impale so that he wouldn't die, but it just didn't push him all the way out of range. Now I think Patoy's going to pick up the red buff, so that's going to be some crazy harass from Lulu top lane. But I mean, relatively even trade, but things definitely going in favor of Dignitas. They're starting to win top lane extremely strong. They're going to push 2 waves of minions. That's almost like 3 waves into the top turret. Loco Doco going to do his best to CS, but Double is going to have those to take care of, while Cutie Pie rather comes back in the lane with an extra Vamp Scepter. What did Vayne go ahead and pick up? It looks like she is going to go for that double Doran's route, just get a little bit more tankiness and damage. Chalister trying to grab away this blue buff. Things going off, the ward goes down, and so he's going to have to get out of here. But will Shen come up? I think Crumbs should be coming up in the area. Smite goes down, and Dominate will take that blue buff away, but it's not on Skara, so I guess that's a little bit of a mission accomplished for CLG.
A little bit. I mean, I will dominate, stealing the blue buff. I mean, stealing blue buff is always a good thing. What should also be noted is that CDR is going to be very strong on him as well. His abilities are incredibly powerful, and they are on an even shorter cooldown now. That's going to make him even more powerful. Wow, the ultimate coming out from Loco. I'm a Cutie Pie dangerously low. Silver Bolt procs are massive, but now Patoy in trouble. Flashes away himself.
Goodness.
There's the last auto attack for him to get the kill. I'm a Cutie Pie flashes away just narrowly in time. Red buff getting donated to Doublelift. I guess is all part of the master strategy. Give red buff to Patoy. Have Patoy give it to Doublelift, and what next?
Well, see, that's why CLG fought there. They knew that they were going to, like, lose horribly, give it away, and then take it back. So, like you said, all calculated, apparently. A big fat shielding himself after the fact. Not sure that was the greatest use of that, but you can see Scar coming up here around the top lane. Cutie Pie never went back, so he's still dangerously low. They could be just baiting Doublelift into this. Will he take the bait? Loco's going back. Scar is just waiting. He's going to try to... He can flash over the wall and land the light binding. He throws it out just for lulz from Lux, and yeah, can't land that. So Doublelift's going to make it out alive, and Patoy's back in lane, so Cutie Pie's going to be able to farm that out. I got to ask you, like, we're starting to get into the late part of the early phase of the game. Who do you think's stronger right now? I mean, it's 4-3, but still only a 400 gold advantage.
Well, right now at this point, bot lane is boring. I'm getting put to sleep. Oh my gosh.
I literally haven't talked about them at all. Like, what's going on down there?
Nothing.
Nobody cares.
Nothing has happened. I guess if we want to analyze it a little bit, that is kind of important. Hotshot has just picked up his second gold per 10. He is leading Crumbs by about 15 CS. Nothing really game-changing there. No real aggression that's going to come out. All the action is really in the top lane where the AD carry and support are. Doublelift has 2 kills for himself. Honestly, at this point, I expect this much from Doublelift because his Vayne is just that insane, especially with red buff. He still has a decent amount of time left on it, and it seems like Chowster is moving up into the top lane for a gank to capitalize on it. This could be brutal.
Yeah, it does look like he's going to come around there. Is he going to get spotted out by a ward? No, he did not. Ping's going off to warn him, hey, there is a ward there. So he's just going to wait here for possibly a counter gank. But Regnar, not even in the area, is going to pick up his red. So really, it's all the Chowster show top lane. If Doublelift initiates in on this, it's going to be... Cutie Pie's going to be like, WTF, you're low and I'm just going to kill you. And then Chowster shows up. He's going to spend some time taking down these double golems. So it's cool and everything, but is he going to be around when the action goes down? I mean, Doublelift can't get near the minion waves. So now that it's approaching him, he's going to go out in CS, and that could provide Chowster an opportunity to counter gank.
Direct to camera, we don't care about bot lane.
Oh,
I'm a Cutie Pie and Patoy. They can't dive this. They know they can't dive
we
it.
do care about bottom lane. Because Crumbs just flashed into turret. Rengar ulted in. But Hotshot was just like, lol, peace out, and nothing happens. So, once again, not something we
have the engage in the top lane. Patoy getting slowed down by red buff. There's the stand united from Shen, and I'm a Cutie Pie getting stunned against the wall. There's the last Q out from Loco to pick up the kill for himself. That Hymn of Valor, wow, just trolling. You think you got away? Nope. That's going to be Sona getting a kill for herself. She actually decided to go for Heart of Gold because, well, I should say, he knew that Doublelift would want to engage early, and so Heart of Gold for the extra health. Plus, I believe the crescendo just barely landed on I'm a Cutie Pie to allow them that kill.
Wow, so you gotta look at how the farm's shaping up. Hotshot's 122. No minion goes unkilled for Hotshot. He's pushing it onto the bottom turret, so he's doing extremely well there in that bottom lane, top lane. I don't know how you get that impale against the wall, but apparently Doublelift knows. Ordinarily, it's like, well, you don't really want to get the support kills, but Loco really the only person in the area to capitalize on that. He is going to pick that up. Now, an Oracle's on Nunu. Chowster's really stacked as double gold for 5s, and that Oracle's now picked up with some wards. So just things looking really good for CLG. Vayne's starting to get a little bit scary.
Yeah, she has picked up her BF sword. She actually went for Berserker's Greaves long before that. I wanted to make sure she could dodge around the harass from I'm a Cutie Pie. Loco going to return up here, planted down a ward near the blue buff, and it looks like Doublelift is just going to be content to farm here. Oh, wow, I'm a Cutie Pie and Patoy still trying to zone them out. Just going to push them under tower with that BF sword. Doublelift is just going to continue to farm under this tower and keep up in CS, and if your CS is even with Vayne, that means you're losing.
Exactly, because she scales just so well. I mean, you gotta look at Corki. He has Hextech Shrapnel Shells. They give you 10% true damage. Like, wow, 10%? That's nowhere near as much as Doublelift's damage is, because the Silver Bolts are pretty strong, even if you're not battling the denizens of the dark or whatever it is. I guess it's the Night Hunter, so battling even the night itself. It appears Chauster taking out some wards, just kind of denying some map vision. Map vision, that's an interesting phrase. Skara getting spotted out, pings going off onto him, and so he's not going to be able to roam really well, which is something that Skara loves to do. You saw them do that with Katarina in the games against Classic, but just has to return to mid lane, and, well, nobody cares about bottom lane, so that's kind of a comprehensive overview.
Yeah, Skara, usually you see some sort of movement top or bottom lane from a Lux. But this game we really haven't seen any because both of them are just pushing so hard. They both Skara and Big Fat want to gank, and so they're both pushing the lane really hard, but that necessitates both of them staying in lane. So there's not really a whole lot that either of them can do. I have counted 1 final spark from Skara so far.
I think you mean Finalis Funkiln, because everybody knows that that's like way more awesome. And if you can't pronounce it, then you know what? That's time for you to practice, because it's like the most legit name I've ever heard. And well, sad to see it go. But back to the matter at hand. Double lift, just crushing everything in his path. I'm just kidding, he's tied for CS, but he does have a BF sword, and versus the Sheen pickup here from Cutie-Pie, that's a little bit of an interesting choice, because Cutie-Pie's individual skills are going to give him that 50% extra base AD. From Sheen, what double lift's going to be massive, and even when he pops his ultimate, final hour is going to give him 25 more. On top of that, the stun goes out. Loco Doco, oh my goodness, Rengar ulting in, the bait is successful, the cleanse comes out, the ult from Shen in on to Rengar. Loco Doco is gonna die almost immediately. Oh my goodness, he flashes out. Could he get out of here alive? He's walking away the flash, and he's still not down. The knockup finally does pick up the kill though.
Wow, that was a lot burnt just to gank the both of them. Now all 4 of them are top lane, and just as expected, CLG going to take Dragon because all of them showed their faces in the top lane. That being said, 2 kills and a turret, probably worth Dragon at this point. And they may continue to push this actually. The inner turret is fearing for its life. You can see it quaking just a little bit. See right there, see it's shaking. Well, now it's dying. I believe I have unfortunately lost Rapid. Rapid, where are you?
I am here. I am back. Apologies for the disconnect, but
no problem.
We're back at 6-4, and really great job by Dignitas to capitalize on that Dragon, able to take down that second top turret. So they're looking to kind of do what CLG did, if you recall, in the last game.
Oh, there's Rengar jumping onto Orianna. This is precisely what we were talking about in Champion Select. That is a very, very dead Big Fat.
Yeah, I was kind of watching that, and I was like, okay, well, he's not going to be able to jump from that. Oh, wait, he can just do that. And so, yeah, Big Fat exploding kind of sucks for CLG, and that's going to be, once again, that pickoff, kind of keeping CLG from ever having that situation where they can just capitalize on something. They can come together as a whole team and get something done when you continue to have your top double turrets pushed, your top getting dope, your mid getting picked off. Just really great job by Dignitas to keep them not in their stride. And that's something they didn't do in the first game. They definitely learned their lesson. They're coming out much stronger here in the second game.
Yeah, absolutely. Though we do see Hotshot finishing off his wit's end. I really like that pickup. Going to enhance his damage a lot. Shen going for the Sunfire Cape for the raw pushing potential. But I think Hotshot definitely has the better end of this fight. Wow, life stealing off of the minions actually going to keep him in this. Crumbs' damage output cannot be underestimated though. And they end up just sort of wandering off their respective ways. Again, it's Shen versus Cho'Gath. Even with them building damage items, there's not a whole lot that either of them can do. But here is Chauster and Double Lift. Loco Doco is here as well. Crescendo is available. Flash isn't though. Here comes the final hour. I'm a Cutie Pie, not going to quite get stunned, but he is going to continue chasing him down. Double Lift taking a lot of damage. Arya Perseverance going to help him tank up just a little bit more. Minions are here for the support, and Double Lift going to get out of there no problem with a kill for himself. He has Bloodthirster. He has 2 Doran's Blades and a dagger. Double Lift is playing his, I wouldn't necessarily call it traditional Vayne, but it is just the scariest freaking thing in the world. 3 kills on Double Lift, almost 19 minutes in. This, I would not want to be Dignitas right now.
Yeah, and even Scarra has to back out of mid lane because he knows that Vayne could at any minute circle around and cut him off in between turrets. He's going to try to keep this top turret from pushing down, and he's going to be able to wave clear it, so Vayne's going to have to back off. But, I mean, seriously, this Vayne is starting to get a little bit ridiculous. I mean, he's already sitting at, I mean, Scarra's 3-0, Rengar's 3-1, so Dignitas has options, but there's 3-2. And so, yeah, it looks like, I don't know, ROCCAT continuing to push down bottom lane and started to win that even. So both teams have strengths, both teams have weaknesses, and I mean, talk a little bit about those. How are both of these teams going to play to those strengths?
Well, CLG has strength in late game, and they're honestly winning the game. They're winning pretty heavily right now, even though the gold difference is pretty close. You have Vayne with 3 kills. Orianna is doing pretty well for herself. Again, I'm worried that it's going to all get thrown onto Scarra because that is where a huge portion of the damage is going to be in this mid game. You have I'm a Cutie Pie. He only has 1 kill and 3 assists. Has just about even CS with Vayne, only 13 down. But that's not nearly as much at this point as Doublelift seems to have with that Bloodthirster. He does have a little over 1,000 gold in his pocket. I'll have to see what he turns that into. Uh-oh, I Will Dominate might be in trouble, though. There's a Stand United from Shen. Doublelift not going to be able to do a whole lot. There is... Yeah, he's going to taunt in there. Doublelift forced to use Cleanse on a nice Shockwave. Going to lock down I Will Dominate. And Big Fat picks up the kill. Nice crescendo coming out from Loco Doco. Now Crumbs in a fair bit of trouble. Final Spark goes out onto Doublelift, and I'm a Cutie Pie. This is one last auto attack there. The Rocket gets the kill for himself. Now Crumbs going to recall over the wall. Only if Big Fat had the mana might have been able to kill Crumbs, but no, burnt it all despite having that Athene's Unholy Grail. Binding misses. I'm a Cutie Pie and Scarra probably not quite strong enough to push down this tower quite yet, but here's ROCCAT coming around from behind. The Rupture lands onto Scarra. There's a slow power chord as well. Feast goes down. Wild Growth from Lulu keeps her alive, and she is going to escape this with her life. Now ROCCAT goes on yet another Rupture just for harass, as CLG decides to push down on this mid lane. Outer tower going down right now, and that is going to be Big Fat picking that one up. No extra gold for that one, unfortunately for him. But that is going to be a fair bit of an advantage for CLG. That turret was really important, especially considering the fact we're coming into 22 minutes, the Baron time.
Definitely, and I think that's CLG's been doing an okay job with pushing, but Dignitas just really, really strong. I mean, Rengar just massive. He's one-shot Big Fat at least twice already. Vayne's 3-3 just because of how great Rengar is at turning things around. You saw he was kind of got caught out, and then he just walked right back into them. And you saw the flashback in and the taunt from Shen, just huge. I mean, even though it's 2 zeros in the first 2 columns for Crumbs, he has those 5 assists, and with 178 CS, he's still behind ROCCAT, but he's keeping up, and he's still able to fulfill his functional advantage as Shen. You can see him even just kind of fighting ROCCAT. This is the dumbest fight to watch bottom lane. It's just like, okay, well, we're both going to stand still and auto attack and use spells, and absolutely nothing happens.
This might get a little less stupid if we have Big Fat move in, but no, I think he's going to back away from this one because Dragon is spawning right now. Big Fat going to pull it out, but I Will Dominate is just around the corner. Might decide to turn it around with the Thrill of the Hunt if he wants to. He definitely could run in there. Maybe even try to Smite Steal it. No, not with the Feast from Cho'Gath. There it is. That's Nunu actually getting the Smite. Now I Will Dominate getting slowed down by the Ice Blast. Shockwave going to pull him back in as well. This is going to be one dead Rengar. Oracle's going to catch him even as he tries to use Thrill of the Hunt to stealth himself away. CLG picking up I Will Dominate, no problem. Dignitas tries to pick up and does pick up a counter tower right there. A nice binding from Scarra going to stop the chase from CLG. But it looks like they may decide to continue pushing down this mid tower. 20 seconds left on I Will Dominate. And no, looks like they want to try to catch them out. Nope. No Rupture coming out from ROCCAT. Instead, they just decided to shift their focus onto the tower. Doublelift tanking this probably a little bit more than he should. There's the taunting from ROCCAT and the binding as well. He's getting chunked down to half HP. Rupture lands and the nice ult from Loco Doco. Gonna catch him out. Scarra and I'm a Cutie Pie both chunked down to half health very quickly. Forcing the scare ult out from Patoy, so that's not going to be available for a little while. And I think CLG, after scaring the bejeebus out of Dignitas, may decide to go for Baron. No, they thought about it. They're just going to go ahead, back away, spend the gold that they just got from taking out that tower.
And CLG making the best out of the situation, turning it around. They lost their tower, but they were able to take down I Will Dominate and a turret in return. So it's still even on turrets. And I mean, it's only 8-7, but already you can see the gold count starting to shift in favor of CLG. They are up about 4,000 gold, but no Dominate in the middle of the team. Is this going to be alive?
No, I don't know. Chalister flashes away. I Will Dominate jumps in to chase after him. That's going to be one dead Nunu, almost certainly. I'm a cutie pie running for his life now. Crumbs is the target. The entirety of CLG is on him. There is a shockwave. And the last hit from Hotshot picks up the kill on Crumbs. There's a final spark on Loco though. Wow, what huge burst damage. Skara not quite able to get him, though. There's the big one. Not enough. Loco surviving with barely anything left. In the meantime, Double Lift dueling I Will Dominate. I Will Dominate getting the worst end of that deal, unfortunately for him. I kind of want to go back and see that eventually if both teams decide to back away. Watching Double Lift 1v1 anyone as Vayne is always really entertaining to watch. Let's actually go ahead, go back and do that really quickly, just because we have the time. So I Will Dominate. He runs over, throws the ward in the bush to make sure nothing bad happens. A nice knock away from the jump in from I Will Dominate just isn't enough because Double Lift life stealing all the way through that thanks to her Bloodthirster. We'll go ahead and jump back to live in just a second here. I don't think that we really missed anything. No, both teams decided to back. What did everyone decide to buy?
All right, well, it does look like we have Frozen Heart, Wit's End, along with triple gold for 5s on Hotshot. So he is just rolling in cash, has, 10,000. He has the most gold in the entire game, almost 2,000 to 3,000 gold above almost everyone on Dignitas. So just ridiculously farmed right now, tons of gold. Now he's going to go back. What is he going to pick up? Should be like a Shrelia's or something along those lines. And indeed, it will actually be a lock into the Iron Solari. So an interesting choice there, but oh my goodness, Chalister getting lasered.
Yeah, Chalister gets lasered down to half health, but no, the movement speed from Loco is going to be enough to allow them to get out of there. Shurelia's was popped to run away from that fight. That's going to be down for a little while. We are at 26 minutes right now. Vayne is built. Corki not quite as built as he may want to be, building toward the Zeal. Doesn't have his Trinity Force yet at 26 minutes because he opted for a Bloodthirster that may hurt him if CLG decides to try to attempt Baron. Try to attempt. Now that's redundant.
Oh, yes, kind of as redundant as, well, I guess picking up a dagger on Loco. He's going to be going for Zeke's Herald or Zeke's Herald, depending on how you want to pronounce it. But it's kind of weird to just see that sitting in his inventory. I mean, Hotshot's just kind of this giant, tanky monster. He's going to be able to push up right into the middle of the enemy team and, well, basically do whatever he wants. Regnar backs to base, and so does the Cutie Pie. And that means it's basically 3 versus 5 as CLG looks to take down this Baron.
Yeah, I'm not sure that there's a whole lot that Dignitas can do at this point. Vayne is chunking it down very quickly. Half health left on Baron. They want to try to stop it. Scar throws down to Binding, but there is the Rupture down on him. Final Spark only lands on Hotshot. That is not good at all for Dignitas. That Final Spark going to be coming up fairly shortly. No, it's a 48-second cooldown right now. He doesn't have rank 3, and so it's going to be quite a long while. Hasn't built any cooldown reduction at all. How much does he have? Only 4%. So when he uses that Final Spark, it means he's really committing because it's not going to be up as typically as he may want it to be. Now, CLG, they decide, oh, you know what the heck? Why are we even bothering with Baron? We don't need to at this point because look at where Crumbs is. He's pushing down the inner tower. They just want this inhibitor turret, and they're going to get it. The inhibitor is being whacked on. There's ult in onto I Will Dominate, jumping onto Loco, trying to pick him off really quickly. Double Lift is plenty safe, though, with the red buff. I Will Dominate gets chunked down. Nice ultimate from Loco, gonna lock down I'm a Cutie Pie and Crumbs, and Double Lift is just going crazy on Dignitas, who gets chunked down pretty hard. There's a Final Spark not going to land on Double Lift. The target that he was really going for, Patoy, getting chunked down by Big Fat as well. Inhibitor finally falls. CLG with no members down. And after taking down I Will Dominate and leaving pretty much the rest of Dignitas in ruins, decide to back away, and I think this may finally be a Baron.
Yeah, definitely. They killed off the jungler, so there's no smite for Dignitas, and perfect job by CLG, recognizing that, Shen was trying to be a big man. He's like, you know what, I'm going to run up to that turret, I'm going to kill that turret, and I'm going to split push, and then you realize that Dignitas is not as strong as they thought they were. They do wind up taking that Baron, so it's going to be down at 28-36. So we'll see that again in 7 minutes, and that kind of puts that 4-minute pause button on the game. Except I don't think CLG is going to let it be a pause button. They are going to go all in on this because Double Lift is so strong right now. It kind of sounds like, we're rabid CLG fanboys, but I mean, you just look at his micro in that last team fight. It was pretty great. Cutie Pie actually had to back out of there. But then you look at Scar, he's 303, and even though that's the zip code for Colorado and also a really epic band, is it enough to carry this game? I mean, he's Death Cab Void Staff. That's what he had last time, and it just wasn't enough. But is that going to be enough for Dignitas? What do you think?
I don't think so. Right now, CLG, they really have everything. They really have everything taken really well. They have Baron, and on top of that, they have top inhibitor. What that means is if they decide to go down into the bot lane, it's going to be a long walk for whoever Dignitas decides to send to defend against those super minions that are going to be charging down that top lane. So right now, CLG is in exactly the sort of position they want to be in. They're 30 minutes in. They have Double Lift fed. Orianna, even though she was having trouble earlier on, Big Fat now has himself a Rabadon's Death Cap. He has plenty of damage. And CLG is just in the perfect position. This is exactly where they want to be. And the only thing that can make this better is red buff for Vayne. And in fact, they pinged it, thinking that maybe it's there so they could donate it. But no, red buff is not available. It is on I'm a Cutie Pie right now. That's not going to deter them at all. In fact, they've sent Hotshot GG up into the top lane to just make this as much of a problem as possible. There's the teleport in. Yep, Hotshot just wanted to push that down and try and draw focus away on Dignitas. There's the Rupture, not going to be able to get anything, chasing Dignitas all the way back to their inhibitor turret. And of course, Crumbs was sent up to that top lane to try and defend it, but I'm not sure that's going to be enough. They need him for defense. This jump in from I Will Dominate, though, trying to catch Double Lift, but Double Lift is just fine. I Will Dominate getting completely chunked down. There's the Silver Bolt's proc, and the Rupture gets the kill. No, I'm a Cutie Pie is the next target. Double Lift chasing him down with Final Hour. Binding comes out to defend him. Double Lift predicting that very nicely, going to back away from that one. I Will Dominate being the only casualty once again for Dignitas. This bottom inhibitor is going down. I Will Dominate at 20 seconds out, and I think CLG wants to move over to this mid tower and take that out. Final Spark actually going to get Hotshot, tanking just a little bit too much damage there. Scar getting chunked down.
He was sitting underneath that bottom turret literally the whole time. He has 327 armor and a bazillion health, and so he could do that, and that was cool, but he just dropped a little bit too low. Scar able to snipe that down, and Scar is doing absolutely everything that he possibly can, but it's just not enough.
That was a really excellent job pushing him away. Wow, I'm a Cutie Pie getting chunked down so quickly. Now, Lokodoko might be in a tight spot because I Will Dominate has respawned. He does not have Thrill of the Hunt available to him, though. That is another 26 seconds out, and I don't know that he has 26 seconds. Crumbs getting hit against the tower. Final Spark not really going to land on anyone. Double Lift going down on I'm a Cutie Pie now. Patoy going to drop very quickly as well. Now, Skara in trouble. Getting killed on the altar. The burst from Big Fat is huge. Double Lift going to finish off this tower, and CLG taking this best of 3. They are the kings of the hill. Whoop! I Will Dominate is going to fall. Okay, Big Fat getting that one for himself. Whoop! Do they want to get Crumbs too? Aw, darn. Double Lift falls, but that is going to be CLG picking up this second game in the best of 3 series. They are your kings of the hill, and they are going home with the $1,000 prize.
Yeah, so that's going to be $1,000 more to spend in Las Vegas. Make sure to support Counterlogic Gaming and the rest of the teams competing in IPL 5 this weekend. They're going to be representing there along with great teams from, well, around the world. I know a lot of great teams that you guys may not have seen. I know Iceland's going to be there. Really excited to see them. And a lot of great other teams. So check out a lot of League of Legends action this weekend. But thanks for stopping by and checking out the ROCCAT King of the Hill. Like I said, that's $1,000 to CLG as they return next week. 2-time winners, and they will be defending their spot at the King of the Hill position, taking out Dignitas here and looking extremely strong going into the tournaments this weekend. So really great to see them back in really great form. A lot of great team communication. If I say the word great, I'm going to vomit or something dumb like that. But I do want to reiterate that's a really awesome job by them picking up the win, and so that's going to be $1,000 more in their corner. So make sure to go check out